Hello, leaders. Hey, this is Paul Grau, and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges, the daily show that helps you leverage conflict to master your leadership and communication skills to live your best life. Hey, I hope all is well with you today. And if you could see me, you'd see that I have a huge smile on my face and looking directly at you. Well, at least I hope I would. Today, we're going to talk about the impact body language has on your leadership and communication in general. So, I know we've talked about this a little in the past, but it's a topic that we should all talk about more frequently because it's just that important. Between 65 and 93% of all communication is directly communicated through body language. I mean, your body language is more important than what you're actually saying. Your body language is more important than the words that you're using. So, if nothing else, today's challenge is for you to be more aware of your body language and what messages that you're sending to the people around you. And I'm talking about at home, work, at the store, a business lunch, or what may be just the most important thing today, and that's a conference video call or a Zoom call. Now, after a few minutes of Googling the impact of body language, I had enough material to last me about 6 months worth of shows. But don't worry, I'm only going to give you a very brief overview to set you up for success. First of all, if I were to ask you how many different types of body languages there are, what would you guess? Well, if you guessed a ton load, you'd be right. You know, I once read somewhere that we begin to form our perspective of other people within 1/10 of a second. I mean, ouch. I would hate to know what some people think of me in a matter of 1/10 of a second. Because, let's face it, I am in no way smiling and joyful just all the time. Or at least my facial expressions don't show it. But just think about how many different types of body languages there are. Let's try to list a few just to see what comes to mind. As I think about it, I think of gestures and facial expressions, eye movement, where your eyes are looking, body posture, social distancing, head movements and nods, mouth movements, eyebrow movements, where your hands are, what your arms are doing, legs, feet. And man, we could just go on and on here. The bottom line is we need to be aware of what kind of body language that we're sending at all times. And one of the best ways that I know to learn is to observe other people around you. Observe what their body language is telling you. Start with your kids and your spouse and friends and some coworkers. Now, keep in mind, don't just start staring at all your coworkers because they're going to get a little freaked out. But just try to take notice of what messages they are sending with their body language. After all, I think we're already qualified to figure out what other people are telling us by the body language that they're using. If 65 to 93% of all communication is communicated through body language, it seems to be a universal language. So I think we already know what people are telling us through their body language, and all we have to do is just take a little bit more notice. The more that you observe and that you're aware of the body language that other people around you are sending, the more aware that you'll be of your own body language. And then you can start to adjust as needed to basically communicate better and more effectively with the people around you. Hey, I hope you enjoy this show. And if you do, I'd be grateful if you share it with a friend or a coworker. And I challenge you today to have a discussion about this whole thing about body language with your team, your family, your friends. Just talk about it. Have a great rest of your day, and I hope you'll join us tomorrow. Until then, run to your challenges.